And Myra, you'll probably need to share your screen. Or Sarah was going to go first, right?
Yeah, I'll go first. And I couldn't get it to work on my computer, so I'm on my phone. I hope everybody can hear me okay.
We can.
So I'll try to share this from my phone. I don't know why my computer wouldn't work with the Zoom meeting. But I'm going to walk you through how to set up your Etsy account. So before you can start your Etsy shop, you need an Etsy account. Give me just a second to pull up an Etsy account, and we'll get started on creating your account and then setting up your shop. And
Christina, I'm sorry. Are we recording this?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay, I just didn't see it on my end, so I wanted to make sure.
I've just pushed the record. You should get a notification.
okay, so the first thing you're going to do whenever you create your Etsy account is you're actually going to have to create an account before you can set up your shop. So you'll go to the top where it says sign in, and then it will, well, it looks different on my phone now.
Thank you very much.
Hold on. Give me just a second. I am not doing what I want to do. Okay. So to get started with your Etsy account, you'll need an email address, whether you already have one or you make one. I've created an extra email account so I can walk you through the setup. And if you have any questions, just leave those in the comment and I will go back after I get finished and answer any of those. So I've used my email address that I've created for this. And it is asking, for a first name, and then we'll put in a password for it. And that password, if you write it down or whatever, will be how you log back into your shop after. And there, we've created an Etsy account, which is then going to let us go and I have extra. Okay. Once we get our account set up, we're going to set our preferences. And it may look a little different on my screen because I am on a mobile app versus what it would look like on your computer. It's still going to be the same kind of process. But here you can see all of the, like you can connect your account to Facebook. You have preferences that you can set. Right now, mine is set to English, of course. And then to create your account, you're going to go down to Sell on Etsy. And it's going to bring up a page similar to this. And then you simply click Open Your Etsy Shop. And then here's the preferences. And if you're selling it as a full-time job, you can put that on there. I sell as part-time. So that's what I'm going to click right now. I would like to make it full-time, but with 2 kids at home, sometimes that doesn't always happen. Save and continue. And then you'll enter your shop name. It needs to be about 40 to 20 characters in length. There's no spaces that needs to be in it. No special characters. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do Spears Sewing. My current Etsy shop is Spears Sewing Company. But I'm just going to check the availability of that, and as it is available. Whether you use your name as an Etsy shop, it needs to be something that's creative, that's descriptive of what you do. My Etsy shop is handmade clothing, so I always like to put sewing in there since that's what I do specialize in. If you already have a business name, you're more than welcome to use that on your Etsy shop. It just needs to be something that's available that hasn't already been taken on Etsy.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm on my phone, but I can't find anything that you're doing. Do I need to be on the app or do I need to be in Safari?
You can be in Safari. I'm on Safari.
I'm on the Etsy app and I have an account set up, but it looks nothing like yours. And there's nowhere that says anything. I can buy stuff on Etsy, but I can't find anything where I can set a shop.
So if you're on your mobile phone and you're using an app, there's actually a second app that is sell on Etsy. So won't be able to
Okay.
set up a shop on the buying Etsy app.
So I need to download the selling app.
You can download the selling app. You can also just go to your Safari right now, log in like you would, and you can create an account like that to sell.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And I'm actually on the Safari app on my phone right now. Like I said, I tried to get it to pull up on my computer and I couldn't get any video or any audio or anything to work on my computer.
And Sarah, we have another question in the chat. I think you answered it, but I just want to be sure. Can you log in with your Facebook account?
You can log in with your Facebook account. I believe there was a Google account that you could log in with. I did have it linked to my Facebook account, but over the years, my Facebook emails have changed some and my Etsy email has stayed the same for the most part. So that's why I used an email. Yeah, you can log in with Google, Facebook, or with Apple. And sometimes it's easier to do those. It'll pull some stuff from your Facebook if you use that, like your profile picture, but you can always go back and change that if it's something that you wanted to change. Were there any other questions right now?
Not right now. Thank you.
I came in just a little bit late.
Okay.
Do I need to be on my phone and pull up the Etsy?
You can be, if you're on your computer and you go to Etsy.com, in the top right corner, there's a button that says sign in. If you just click that on your computer, it'll bring up the same kind of features. You'll put in an email address and it'll be all the same steps.
Okay, I do have an account, but I think it's just for buying. And I was listening to what you said about to the other lady about there's a second app to do the selling, right?
Yeah, on the Etsy app, there's two of them. There's a buying app and then there's a selling app. To actually in the shop and be able to sell on Etsy, you'll need to download the sell app. And I actually think it's a little bit easier if you are using your phone and you're using the sell app instead of going into Safari. I think it's a little bit easier to add in your listings that way instead of having to me, it makes it a little more simple the way they have it set up on the app versus on just the regular like Safari app or your regular computer.
Okay. I will, I'm going to listen now and I'll let you do your talking since I came in late. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're fine. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to stop me. This isn't what I wanted to do. I preferred it to be on my computer. But the phone works just as good. So once you've created your Etsy account, your Etsy shop, then you can go back and you can customize. You'll add your listings in, and I think Lisa's going to talk about how to add in listings and how to make them pop to get more traffic to your site. I've always been told the more listings you have, the more traffic you get to your shop. I do find that to be true. When I've had one listing versus having, 5, 10 listings, I do feel like I get more traffic with the more listings I have. So when you go in and you have everything set up and you start customizing what your shop page is going to look like, that's when you can add in, if you have a logo or if you create a logo, you can add that to it. I can pull up my current Etsy shop just so you can see it. Let me. let me figure out how to unshare this, and I will log into my Etsy account real quick, and I'll show you just kind of some of the stuff I'm talking about. What my
Okay,
shop
and
looks like, and adding in logos and everything like that.
can I ask another question?
Of course.
Okay. If I go to the Play Store, is that where I find the second app?
Do
on
you
my
have
phone?
do you have an iPhone or
No, it's a Android.
is that where you normally download your apps from?
Yes.
Okay, that's where you're gonna go then, and it's just sell on Etsy.
Sell
And
on
it'll be-
Etsy. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be like a little, it'll have some orange in the icon.
Okay. That's good. I'll just hunt it up then. Go ahead.
And
I'm sorry.
you can do it from your computer if you have a computer there with you. It's the same on the computer versus if it's on the app. It may be a little bit easier to start out with to create the account on a computer and then log into it on the app.
Okay, I just found it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna install it, and I'll back off now and see where we're going with this.
I'm going to share my, if it will let me, I'm going to share my personal account.
Good.
So you can see what, if it will let me. Give me just a second. Okay, let's see if this will let me share my personal account now. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, I'll just log into it real quick. Okay, so when you have your Etsy shop set up, this is what it will look like. Again, it's going to look a little different on a computer versus on your phone. Like I said, this is my phone, and you can see the different views you get for each day. I don't push my Etsy shop right now, but I do have some outstanding orders. Okay, so what I was talking about up at the top where you can see the Southern Roots Sewing, that is my shop name, and that is the banner that I created with my logo in it that's got product pictures in it. You don't necessarily have to have the product pictures in it if you don't want to, if you just want to put your logo up there. I think when somebody logs into it and they sees your first, Etsy shop page, it's good to have a little overview of some of the products you offer. So that's why I did that. And then as you scroll down, you can see that there's an announcement section. If you're going to be on vacation or anything and you want to just take a step back from your shop and focus on other things for a while, you can put your shop in what's called vacation mode, and that will still send people to your shop if they search it on Etsy, but it won't show anything up. And then you can just reopen it whenever you get back. And then there's a spot for reviews at the bottom. But I think having a logo and having it at this top part really kind of adds to your shop and kind of makes it feel more like a website versus just an Etsy shop. Does anybody have any other questions about setting up an Etsy account? It's easy to create one. It's easy when you have the shop created. If you want to host a sale in your shop, there's spots that you can go to list things on sale. You can create coupon codes to give out to people. I have one that if somebody in my area buys something from my Etsy shop, they can put in local pickup and it takes away the shipping fee. So it's really good. It's a good tool to use if you're selling. I know lots of people who sell on Etsy full time, and I know lots of people like me who just do it as part time or even less than part time. Does anybody have any other questions?
Thank you, Sarah. That was a great review. I think there's several people's logged in here in my area as well. Thank you. That was very informative.
Again, if you have any questions during the rest of it about creating an account or anything, feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll go back and answer them.
There's not anything in the chat right now, but I think Robin might have been trying to speak, but she was on mute, so I wanted to make sure she didn't have a question. Robin, you're on mute if you're trying to speak.
Oops.
I will.
Oops. Yeah, I was trying to see, it said that I want to set it up on Google or on Facebook, and I didn't know which would be the best.
You can do either Google or Facebook. I just use my regular email account, which happens to be a Gmail account. So if you just have an email address, if you want to hook it up, set it up with your Facebook account, either one's fine. I tend to set a lot of stuff up with my Facebook account because it's a lot quicker to do.
Okay, well, so I did click on what my Gmail account is, but that's not what I use all the time because I have a bellsouth.net email. So I was gonna add it as, a different one.
You can use whatever email you have. Any email that you check regularly. If you have a business email, I also have a business email. So I don't have it set up to it yet because I just created one a couple months ago. But you can set your business email up, whatever that might be, if you have a separate one, to the Etsy shop.
Okay, well, when I clicked on that Gmail account as my email, it also, when I scroll down a little bit, it says start selling today, and it says open your Etsy shop. So is that for me to create one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you're going to create.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go back on mute again so I can continue watching.
Does anyone else have any questions? And like I said, I'll stick around the entire meeting here. And if there's any questions that you have at the end that you think of or want to stick them in the comments, I'll go back and check the chat and stuff to answer any other questions. Lisa, I'll turn it over to you now.
All right, thank you.
I'll just set my full screen up. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I'll get this. Okay, that's her.
Mm-hmm.
And yours will be next. So this is Southern Roots Sewing. It's Sarah's business card. I think you saw it a while ago, but now Lisa's going to talk about her business card too, as well as what she has on Etsy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this program here today, and hello from Giles County. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to talk about displaying your items on Etsy. When you take pictures of your items, do it in natural light so they really see what the item looks like. And, instead of if you try to change the colors and they get something and they might not like it. But, and take a picture of the front and the side and the back so they can see all sides of it. And there are 6 frames when you're going to display an item. So in them 6 frames, you can use 3 of them. This is what I would do. I would use 3 of them to show the different sides of the item. And then the other 3, you could put different colors of the same item. That way you're not paying for each item. You can put 3 of the same on one instead of 3 different items. And it costs 20 cents per item for 90 days. So that's not bad.
Let me change slides.
You're okay. And I'm going to describe the items. Describing the items. You need to use as many words as you can to describe the item. the more words you use, the more people can look it up on the search engine. If it's red and you put the red on there, you're going to pop up on their search engine. And so the more words you describe it with, the better you'll have a chance of people coming to your website, your Etsy store, and looking at your items. Now, pricing your items, make sure that it reflects your time you put into your items and the cost of the material to make your items. That's very important. Also, I lost, okay. Does anybody got any questions so far?
We do have some questions in the chat. One question is, do you just take a picture of the item and then how to enter?
Do I take a picture of the item and how is it entered?
Okay, you click on the first screen, the first box, and you have your picture on whatever you're using, your phone or your tablet. And when you click on that box, it'll take you to your pictures. And then you click on that picture and it'll put it in that box. But before it'll show in the box, you've got to click finish, and then that picture will be in the box.
Okay, and we have a couple other questions. Do the items have to be new and handmade?
Well, I would think, people sell all kinds of stuff on Etsy. So I don't know. I don't really have the answer to that question. I have seen somebody selling Pyrex on Etsy, and we know that's not new.
It can be new or vintage items. It doesn't necessarily have to be handmade items. Etsy is a really good source for finding those unique handmade items versus, getting the vintage items. I look to Etsy when I want to get, a special gift for somebody that's handmade, that somebody's going to put some time into making.
Mm-hmm.
Great answers. Thank y'all. And then is there a fee for selling on Etsy?
Yes, it's 20 cents per item that you put on Etsy. That's why I say if you've got different colors of the same item, you can add it up to 6 pictures on each of the items. And if you put them different colors on there, then you're not having to pay 20 cents for every color that you put on. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
It does. I guess I was thinking the question might mean, is there a fee for the account that you're selling from, or is it's just based on the items you're selling?
When you first set up your Etsy shop, there's no fee for a basic Etsy shop. There are like step ups from the basic shop where you get a little bit better, deal with it. There's some credits that go into it. And I believe it is $10 a month to have that. I think they call it the Plus plan. But as far as the basic Etsy shop, like I showed you to create, there's no fee to set up for that, just the listing fee.
Thank y'all. And then do you have to have a tax ID number, and does Etsy collect tax?
No, I don't think they collect tax. I'm not really sure to answer that question for you.
You don't have to have a tax ID number to sell on Etsy. However, if you're doing the business, like if you're doing it for a business, then you need to check with, the business laws and having a small business and getting a tax ID number.
Thank you. And then does Etsy collect the tax or collect tax?
So, since Etsy is everywhere and not in just one state, you'll need to collect whatever the state tax number, the state tax is.
Thank you all very much. And that is all the questions we have in the chat right now. So appreciate that.
You know, with
Thank
the
you for
price,
reading that.
excuse me. Also for myself, I price my items, then I step up the price so they can have free shipping. Everybody likes free shipping. I know I do. If I look at an item and it says $20, my next thought is, well, how much are they going to have me pay for shipping? Because sometimes people make outrageous amounts to pay for shipping. So I really like free shipping. And just you've got to offset your item for that free shipping if you're going to do that. And also there's some reference books out that are really good. One is how to sell Etsy on Facebook, and one on how to sell Etsy on Instagram, and one on Pinterest. And these are by Charles Huff, and these can be found on Amazon. And also I've got a book called Etsy for Dummies, and it really has a lot of good information in these books when you're trying to set up your shop and get your information out there for other people so they can find you. So
Talk about those other slides and
what ones?
like your description of yourself.
Oh,
Where you describe yourself.
I describe myself. I'm sorry, ladies. I told on Etsy my history of when I started selling Etsy, and I don't mind sharing with you all that I had to quit working a full-time job 4 years ago. And I decided that I was going to try to make a little extra money and crochet hats. Well, that has grown into scarves and other things. It took a lot of time for me to catch on. I'm a lefty, so it took a while to get it going good, but I have, and I've had a successful business. And we can't do craft sales this year because there's not very many of them going on. So my sister had mentioned to me about getting on the marketplace. And then I had talked to my friend Barbara Dickinson about Etsy, and she helped me set this account up. And I have a lot of work yet to do on it, but it's work in progress, and I'm just going to keep going. And Etsy is something that even in the summertime, I can make washcloths or whatever, and my little soap savers, my hats and my soap savers will be good in the summertime. And just all different kinds of stuff. I'm really excited about this and looking forward to building up my inventory. So is there any other questions?
Nothing in the chat box right now. Y'all both did a great job.
Can I talk? And we can all be successful. Everybody, you know, all of us have some sort of talent. And, you know, if you get on and you try, it doesn't hurt to try something. And usually you can have a successful shop. You just got to work at it and just keep going. Sarah, do you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
I just wanted to tell you it was good to hear about how to do this because I've been wanting to do this myself.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for your information.
Will you all put in the chat what kind of things you think you might sell on Etsy?
Oh, who, me?
Everybody that's online, if you can chat what you think you'll sell, something.
I can't even see the chat button.
Should be at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Oh, here we go, chat. Okay, thank you.
Once you have stuff listed on your Etsy shop, it's really easy to take the listing you have and then share it on your Facebook page. That way others are seeing it and they can share it, and you're getting more traffic that way to your Etsy shop as well.
We had a question come in. It said that it's good to have lots of items in your shop, but is it okay to start with 1 or 2 items?
Oh, definitely, yes. You can start with 1 or 2 items. You can.
Yeah, I agree with that. I started with my Etsy account having about maybe 2 items. And then the way I run my Etsy shop is if any leftover stuff from like pre-orders that I do or anything like that, I add that directly to my Etsy shop and share it that way. So I'll, to begin with, I may have 1 item, and then over the next month or so, it may work up to 4 and 5 items.
I was going to say something. I can't remember what I was going to say.
The more items that you have listed in your shop, the more people are gonna go and look at, spend a little bit of time on your shop, versus if you have 1 item, they look at the 1 item and they leave. But if you start with 1 item in your shop and add up from there, that's a great starting point. It's a great way to learn how to use Etsy, how to create the listings. If you see something in your listing that you want to change, you kind of know what to do for the next time, or you can even go back and change the listing that you already created to vamp it up a little more.
Is
And
there-
when
oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay, go ahead.
Oh, there was another question in the chat. Is there a number of items, a limit to it? The items you sell?
I don't believe there is. I think you can put as many items on there as you would like. I think the more the better.
I think the more the better as well. I don't think there's a limit to how many you can do. If you do feel like, over time that you've kind of outgrown your Etsy shop, Etsy also has a service called Pattern, and it's basically a website. So a lot of shops that I work with, sell on what's called Shopify, which is just like, the Walmart website. That's what Pattern is, but it's hosted by Etsy. And it takes all of your Etsy listings that you've created and puts it directly into a website for you. You have a little bit more freedom with that on how you design your pages to look like. Pattern, I believe, is about $30 a month. I'm nowhere near needing to go to Pattern yet, since I just do this part-time and I just list extras of things. But I do think if you're wanting to do this and wanting to grow, Pattern is a great step before, jumping into a full-out website.
Also on Facebook, I have different friends that have shared my Etsy store information on their pages. So that does get more people looking at your pages, all their friends, and then their friends share. That's a good way to get your information out there also, and helping your store.
Yes, great tips. And that kind of goes along with the next question. Did y'all learn anything to increase sales on any one of your items? So what did you learn to do to increase sales on any one item particularly?
So I'll start by saying I took a break from Etsy for about a year. I had just had my second son and we had just moved into a new house. So I put my shop on vacation. I ended up taking my shop out of vacation mode and I had one thing listed on it. It got someone's attention from an Etsy ad. So Etsy will take your things if you agree to it. It may be something that you have to go in and figure out how to change if you don't want to do it. But Etsy had taken my one item and they had used it as an ad. So Etsy will take your items if you agree to it and use them as ads. That way you can pay for advertisement on Etsy if that's something you want to do. I'm really grateful that Etsy used my one listing as an ad. And when I didn't even realize it, it does take a little bit of the profit from it, but it kind of got me back into listing my things and using Etsy as a tool like that.
And like I said before, these reference books, the 3 that are by Charles Huff, they're very down to earth. You can understand them. Sometimes I can read a book and I don't understand nothing they're saying, but these books really are plain and simple. I really know nothing about Instagram or Pinterest. I've been on Pinterest, but these books do explain to you how to get your Etsy store on Pinterest, and Instagram to be able to reach out there to more people. So I do recommend the books, and they're not really expensive. I think I paid, I don't know, $25 for all 3, or yeah, about $25 for all 3 of them. So they are really worth the money. And go to your local library, because I went to my library first and found the Etsy for Dummies. And that book was very helpful.
The authors, I did it again. What question?
Oh, the author on the sell on Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest is Charles Huff, CharlesHuff.
Great tip. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a fortune to make money, but just a little bit to get better knowledge of what I'm doing. It's very helpful.
Perfect. And how many items have y'all sold through Etsy?
I have sold 2. But then my thing is it's good, but I went to Chattanooga and I take my items different places I go. And I went to Chattanooga about a month and a half ago, and I got 2 orders for my scarves with the wooden buttons. I had to get 24 scarves ready to take back to Chattanooga this last week. So really Etsy kind of got on the back burner while I'm trying to get these folks' orders filled. And I'm gracious for what I get. So now maybe I'll get some time to work on my items and build my store.
Etsy isn't my main marketplace. I use Facebook more than I actually use Etsy. So I really only have about 10 sales on Etsy, but I do think it's a great tool to use. I think for clothing, it may be a little bit harder to get started in versus, other specialty handmade items.
Any more questions?
I don't see any in the chat right now. Y'all have thrown up so much good information. I think everybody's just trying to soak it all in.
Well, good. I'm excited for people who, I'm really not a big person to step out of my comfort zone, but in the last few years I've stepped out, and I have took my items door to door and showed, not door in different businesses where I've shopped, and showed different people my items, and either they tell me yes or no, and I go with whatever they tell me. So, or I'll let them know that I have a certain item, and ask them if they're interested, and they'll say, yeah, bring it in and let us see it. And some buy and some don't, but sometimes you've just got to step out there and ask people to get them to see your items.
I have another question.
Okay.
I downloaded the Etsy selling app, but it's not letting me log in at all. Do you have to create a completely separate account for the selling than you do with the buying?
I believe you do.
You don't
You
have to create an account, like a separate account. It's all one account. It may be that you need to go on like Safari or on your computer and create that initial account,
Okay.
and then create your shop like that, and then go back and log into the app.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
And
I tried it on my phone, and then I tried it on my iPad, and it's doing the same thing.
I wish I could have been able to do this on my computer. I think it would have been a little bit easier to have understood on my computer, but for whatever reason, my computer was being difficult with me today.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I have the same problem.
Yeah, I understand.
So we all understand. Thank you.
Can I butt in a minute?
Sure.
Okay, I already have an Etsy account to buy. And when I tried to log in with using the same email and the password that I had, it said it was the wrong password. So I'm going to try it again and see if it will accept that password. Maybe I typed it wrong the first time, but that's why I'm glad the other lady asked, and you said that you use the same thing to have both. So I'll try that again, but if not, I'll have to change my password, I guess.
Yeah, it's really easy just to change your password. If you forget it for whatever reason when you're trying to log in, it's really easy to go back and change it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a few minutes more. Does anyone else have a question?
If
Sarah,
anybody,
Go ahead.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
I was going to say, if anybody ever has any questions that I might be able to help. I mean, I'm not an expert at this, but I'm learning. And if they ever want to talk about any of the Etsy store, my email address is on my card, and you're welcome to send me an email and we could see if we can figure some things out.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to look over any Etsy shops that you create, any of the listings that you create. I have friends that go over and look over mine before I post them, just to make sure all of the spelling's correct, everything makes sense to somebody else reading it, all of the pictures are good quality and look good. So if you need any questions, if you need somebody to look over your Etsy shop, you're more than welcome to send me an email, and I'll drop my email address in the chat before we leave. I'll go ahead and do it now so you can jot it down.
Do you want to put mine in the chat? It's LESIA.
And we will be posting this video up, and along with the video, we'll have their cards or business cards for you to have their contact information additionally for later.
Okay. You got it.
Did I? You sure?
LESIA@AOL.com. Yes.
Does anyone have any further questions? Well, we thank you, Lisa and Sarah, for joining us today and informing us about Etsy. I think that there's a lot of people, several people who are interested, and you've answered a lot of questions. And thank you for the additional contact information and the services of checking out their account before they post it. So that is a big plus. So at this time, I'm going to stop recording, and whenever you're ready, you can leave this breakout session and go back to the main room, which is